Okay, I did not stop that music at the right time because, oh man, OBS needs to put in an audio fade that fades with the video because it just cuts off out of nowhere. I plan to stop the song after the second run of this sort of loop because it does fade to nothing. And I was like, I could time it. And I practiced it, and then I got distracted, and I stopped it too early. Anyways, hey everybody, my name is Naira Virka, and welcome to the stream. I'm just gonna have some fun today. I went to the thrift store and I found something really cool, and I'll talk more about it. I just want to give some people time to come in. I think that I've shared the link to the stream everywhere that I need to, but I just want to give some people time to come in, get settled, you know, before I start talking, because if it's live, like when it's been archived and it can be watched like a video, people can go back. I mean, people can probably go back right now and catch up, but I like to give people a chance to catch as much of this live as possible. And I'm enjoying a cup of coffee at the moment. I feel like maybe I should have the stream open. I have the chat open, but I should have the stream open just in case things like don't work, I guess, so I can catch things that other people might be pointing out for me. Hi, Seaglass. Now there's someone who's seen me live. I've done some like one-on-one live streams, but I don't think I've ever done like, no, I've 100% never done a traditional art live stream before, which is interesting. I've done some digital art live streams before. They were pretty chillax and stuff. And I've done some game live streams, but I've never streamed traditional art. So I'm a little nervous because I'm a digital artist on main. And with digital art, you can undo your mistakes immediately. But with traditional art, your mistakes are there forever for the most part. There are certain times where you can fix things or cover things up, but for the most part, the general rule is don't screw up because you can't fix it. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited about today's setup when it comes to the streaming, because as much as to you it seems like a simple stream right now, I've got some cool stuff set up. So I practiced this too, and I'm probably going to screw up. So obviously there's the black screen that shows before the stream actually starts. Then there's the pre-stream, which is where the music I just made tonight, which is not finished, but it's good enough to use as a kind of pre-stream waiting song. Which is cool. I wish OBS would like fade the audio out with the video, because otherwise it just cuts off blatantly and it's really annoying to my OCD. But I also have this like diagonal camera here, which is kind of supposed to blend the top down view with a side view, so that when I'm actually like drawing, you can kind of see the tool that I'm working with. I seem to have misplaced the permanent marker that I had on the table. We'll use this flashlight as an example. Oh, actually, I could probably grab a pencil. Yeah. It's supposed to blend the top down and the side view, so when I'm actually drawing, you can kind of see what I'm doing with the tool. So if you're trying to learn how to draw or paint, and you're wondering how I did a certain thing, you can actually see the flick of my wrist and stuff. Hopefully the frame rate's fine. But not only do I have the diagonal so you can see my hand, but you can still kind of see the art. Like you can see the grid on this mat decently well. And you can still kind of make out the words on this, maybe. Although it's pretty worn out. But I also wanted you to, yeah, I wanted you to be able to see the art too. It's pretty late, and I was pretty sleep deprived last night, but I'm really inspired. These things are exciting, the things that I'm looking at today. But I also have a top-down view, which from this you can see I have a little tablet over here where I can actually control the stream from here. Mute my microphone, change the scenes, turn the desktop audio off if it ever causes a problem, and I can also stop recording from here. And I'm actually recording this stream too, which is crazy, because I'm going to see if I can't reference some of what I do in the stream in the actual video that's about these art supplies. So this is me experimenting, getting to know them a bit, so I don't have to do that in the main video. And also just to kind of connect with you guys more, because that's kind of why I started making videos in the first place. It's not just to make videos, but I would love to put a community together and to get to know people from around the world, other creative people and stuff too. Very much happy little accidents. I go on tangents sometimes. But I also have, for this view, I have a zoomed in version, because there may be times when I need a tighter shot. In the future, I will have a separate camera for this that is already zoomed to this so that you don't lose any quality or resolution. But right now, I'm just kind of zooming in and cropping in on the original camera feed. Now, this is really handy because it means that I can put something here that's relatively small, and rather than it being this tiny thing on the screen compared to everything, it's kind of made it a little bigger, so at least you guys can see a little bit more detail. That's kind of the only intention behind it. But yeah, so I'm actually gonna go back to this regular top-down view. Can I lean my phone somewhere? I need a secondary stand for my phone. I think it looks pretty good though. I'll just leave my phone over there with the screen off. So, on topic, now that I think I've given people enough time to come in. I don't know how many people are going to it late at night. At least for me. It might be like super early morning for some people. But it's already in the title. So you kind of already know what the medium is. It's watercolor crayons. But the story behind this is kind of interesting, at least to me. So I've never heard of them before. I've heard of watercolor pencils, and watercolor, really. I haven't heard of a lot of other watercolor things. Watercolor both in like the tubes and the pucks and whatnot, and even some powders, which is interesting to me. But I've never heard of watercolor crayons before. Until yesterday when I was out at a thrift store to kind of see if there was any like technology that could help me with the filming, any furniture to just like, I don't know, make my room feel a little nicer. And these were pointed out to me. They were $5. And I was like, what? What is a watercolor pencil? Or what is a watercolor crayon? Because as far as I know, crayons are like 90% wax and 10% pigment or whatever other stuff they put in it. Binding agent, pigment, dye, whatever. How could that possibly be watercolor? Because there'd be a ton of wax involved in it. So I was intrigued. However, I fully expected these to be as bad as a certain other art supply that I bought and used last year. Or early this year. I honestly don't even know. I did this video where I drew 10 random art supplies while blindfolded from a container, and 2 of these watercolor pencils that I got came out, and I was so disappointed, and that's because I found them at a thrift store for $6, way overpriced. I think $6. I'm not actually entirely sure. I don't remember. But they looked cool. and it seemed like the brand was fairly recognizable. I found Google search results for it, so I was like, okay, so people know about them, so they got some form of like renown. Took them home. They didn't go down on the paper very well, like at all. They felt super dry, barely any color went down, and they did not react to water at all. They were absolutely horrible. So I saw these, and I'm like, I've never heard of them, never heard of the brand before, which happens to be, God, how do you say that? Mongyo? Gallery Mongyo, I think. I could be getting that so super wrong. But they look like this. They kind of remind me of the chalk that they had in school for a little while when I was a kid. And it was wrapped in paper, so it didn't like dust off on everything. And you'd basically grab the corner of it with your finger and you'd like peel a ring off. And then you'd have chalk. It also kind of reminds me of the ones they used to put in the handle thing that you'd like pump like a mechanical pencil or twist and it would come out. And they also seem thicker, not by much, but thicker than most of the crayons I've seen. And they definitely feel waxy. So I felt them, I'm like, yeah, they feel like crayons. They feel super waxy. I'm like, I can't see how these could potentially even work. That's a lot of wax. And as far as I know, there's no wax on the planet that's water soluble. So my faith in these was pretty low. However, let's set those aside. I put some of these down on paper dry. And this top part here. And I said, okay, the color went down pretty decently. I mean, it's not the best looking color. It seems very dry and felt very dry. Very similar to the Zebra Sensations mechanical colored pencils that I tried last year. But then I grabbed a paintbrush and I wet it. And immediately I was blown away. Because the pigment in these things melted so well, and as you can see, spread out really well with little to no effort. And the colors even got more vibrant. Some of the hues changed a little, which could be down to the chemical makeup of the water here. Could be the color that's in the paper, because it's not going to be perfectly white. I have no idea what caused it to become slightly different hues, like this one specifically right here. That's a lot more red than I thought it was going to be. But everything otherwise, pretty much the same color, just definitely it feels like the saturation went up. And the wet version of the color, like this, feels waxy. This feels like a crayon or a really heavy waxed colored pencil. But this, there's a bit of waxiness to it, but barely. That waxy texture like disappeared, and I don't know how it did that. It's still there, but it's not nearly as obvious or in your face on the now dry wet swatches, which is really super cool. And I'm not going to leave you hanging on, watching them actually melt out like this, because it's really cool. But I actually did a little sort of doodle yesterday too. I strapped a camera to my head to get like a headshot sort of version of me trying these out. I don't know if I'm going to use that footage because the camera wasn't tilted properly and it was just a stupid experiment. I've been trying to learn how to use a head-mounted action cam. It's not a GoPro, but it's pretty similar. It's this little guy right here. I've been learning to use it and see what it's capable of, try different angles out and stuff, because I'd like to incorporate more interesting camera fun in my live streams and videos. Well, I mean, my live streams are new now, but you know what I mean. But I did a little doodle. This was all freehand. I didn't do a sketch or anything. I was just kind of screwing around, seeing how these colors would behave if they were beside each other, and I didn't want them to mix, if I could actually do that. And this horn right here turned out pretty cool. That turned out exactly as I wanted it to, but that was the first one I did. And I think I got overconfident with these ones because they turned out really horrible. But that's the little doodly sketch I did. And then I put water on it and tried my best to blend it. And of course, I went off the lines. I was really super tired and just really excited to try them out. Low faith, but after I did this, I was feeling super inspired, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to try and do like a little doodle here. So my experimenting today is mostly going to be doing these swatches again and trying to see what colors mixed together make what other shades, but also kind of keeping track of that. Because while I know that mixing yellow and blue together makes green, the color temperature of each of these shades will actually change and heavily affect the shade of that color. So this and this make green, sure, but is it going to be a warm green or a cool green? And if I mix the yellow with the darker blue, is it going to make a warm or a cool green? Or is it going to be weird and turn brown? Because this is a thing that happens with traditional mediums, as I have experienced so far. So I'm going to pull out a new piece of paper, and we're going to experiment. And I'm going to try and keep track of which colors I'm actually putting together. So I'm going to put these aside, grab myself a paintbrush. If I can open this thing, it's super broken. Suppose I don't need a really big paintbrush. That one's a bit firm. I should probably use one that's a little more attuned for watercolor. This one's a bit broken. This one, I don't know, broken shipping or something. When I was moving. Ah, there you go. That's more of a watercolor brush. Okay. So now we got a brush. I got some water over here already. I'm not actually sure if you can see the water. I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things. But yeah, I think you'll be able to see the water. Perfect. This thing's really cool too. I didn't find this at a thrift store, but Griffin did, and she gave it to me. She thought I would like it, and she was correct because I love boxes. I have a big wood chest outside. It's like an old trunk that you'd see on like an old ship or something. Not one of those like treasure chesty looking ones, but just like kind of a standard box like this. But it's like a dark, dark, dark blue, basically black. And it's got the wooden binding on it and sheet metal binding. It's really cool. I got it filled with wood right now. A lot of useless wood that's going to end up going in the garbage. But I have a green one outside too that's more of a toolbox box. And then I got a couple other latchy boxes like this that I keep random stuff in. There's actually one down here too. And this one is a clipboard box that can be mounted to the wall. And it's got compartments in here. What's in here right now is my Faber-Castell pencil, which, along with my fine liner, which I thought I lost. They're both in here, so that's good. I'm just a dum-dum. I'm going to take out a couple pieces of these because I know I'm probably not going to use just one. They are the exact size of the inside of this thing, basically, so they're really hard to get out when you don't have like a pencil or a butter knife or something. And I only need one at a time. I'm going to set these aside. Sadly, they don't really fit. They kind of overhang the edge. I would only ever use this if I was like out of the house and I just wanted to doodle, because I'm gonna find a way to put my art supplies in here too, or at least some art supplies, not necessarily my good ones, just something I can use to sketch. Now, I'm a bit of a picky person when it comes to the way colors are arranged. The only reason that I've arranged my colored pencils in my pencil case a certain way is because the brand has like a swatch chart you can fill out and they're all ordered a certain way, so I put them in the way they intended them to. But this, I'm pretty sure, doesn't have a like a chart, so I'm gonna put them away the way I want them to be put away. Oh no! I pulled the crayon out of its wrapper. So I'm gonna put this like brown red first, then this red. I'm gonna put pink because to me that just makes sense that they're going like that. And then orange. I mean, I know pink. Pink generally in the rainbow goes after purple, which is a color I don't have, and I don't know why I didn't register that before. Okay, we're gonna go this a different way. I'm gonna go white, then pink, then I'm gonna go this red brown, then standard, red, orange, and this is also a pink, but it's also an orange because it's a skin tone. So I'm gonna put that after the orange, and then yellow. That bothers me. Whatever, leave it. And we're gonna go light green, dark green, and then I'm gonna go dark blue, light blue, and black. Honestly, the white, unless you have toned paper, there's really no reason to test it out. And despite the fact that this paper is technically sort of toned, it's not toned enough for it to be useful. So since I already have the initial swatches, I don't really need to swatch each one individually. So I'm just going to start by like mixing some colors together. So I'm going to go pink. And I'm going to go pink beside pink. Because I'm actually curious as to how much this white one will affect how brightly colored this pink is. Especially after it gets wet. So we're going to go with the regular pink first. Might need a little more water than that. You can see that this actually breaks down pretty well. I probably could have put down a bit more color. But overall, that breaks down pretty well. And there's actually enough color left on the brush that I could tint part of the canvas. Yeah, I definitely did not put enough color down. I mean, you saw the other swatches. I definitely put enough color down on the other ones. But this is how you get lighter colors of it, I guess. Lighter shades of colors. I'm actually going to put a little bit more pink down over top of this white. Then go over it again with a little bit more white. I highly doubt this is going to change anything very much. Yeah, I mean, it did something. It's a little lighter, but honestly, I think I could probably get that light of pink by just not putting that much pink down, as you saw here. Still really cool though. Now the one I'm most curious about is what kind of green am I going to get? Am I going to get the same green that I already have, or am I going to get a different shade of green? Because that would be really cool if I can get another shade of green. It would give me more options. I haven't actually decided what the full art I'm going to do is yet. Oh, there's a slight preview of what the green could look like here. Oh no, backwards. Okay, I have a pencil. I'm gonna put LB and Y, light blue and yellow. And then beside it, I'm gonna do light green. And beside that, a dark green. That's probably the amount of color that I should be putting down. Unless, of course, you want a desaturated, very pale kind of art, which is an acceptable type of art. So the first thing I'm going to do is the light green. Get it all blended out. Just watch how that color becomes so much more vibrant and saturated. It kind of blows me away. Even though I expected it, I'm still very much wowed by it. And this is a very vibrant dark green. I don't think that I would call it like phthalo green. That's not what they call it. Actually, they have color names here. This one is deep green, and this one's apparently yellow green, which seems pretty accurate. Actually, let's keep that right there. Only I can see it right now, but I want to keep the original colors here too, just so I can see what the original ones look like before they get wet. Maybe spark an idea. Let's get this blue and yellow together. Oh no. That looks like the exact same shade of green. I mean, it's a little darker. I suppose that's fine. Oh no, it is darker. The light was hitting it weird while it was still super wet. But now that it's kind of flattened out, I can see that it is darker. It would be in between these two. Now I'm really curious. I have a feeling the dark blue and the yellow is going to turn into something in between this one and this one. And if that does happen, that would be really good, because it would mean that I have 4 shades of green that could be blended towards each other. I have doubts, but so we're going to do dark blue and yellow. Put some of this dark blue down first. I'm really hoping it is very different, because I can work with this by just not putting a lot of it down. Oh no. That is going to be very similar to that one. I can see that they're pretty close. I mean, I won't know until I actually put the color down, but I have a very strong feeling that this is just going to turn into this deep green. Probably a bit different, but... Oh no, I was wrong. Oh, that is a really nice green. I was kind of right, though, because this would technically be in between this deep green and the other green. I'm going to need to give that a name. That's called yellow green, but this kind of looks leaf green, and this looks moss green. I like this. That is a very nice green. It's a very nice green. Even when it's not completely saturated, it still looks really nice. I enjoy. And what other colors do I want to try together? Perhaps a yellow and an orange, since we're on the topic of yellows. So I'm going to do orange and yellow. The yellow stick out a bit because I'm probably going to use it some more. So this was a very orange heavy with a bit of yellow on top. Ooh. The other one is more of like a tangerine orange. This one seems a bit more like a, I don't know, pumpkin orange even. It's very vibrant and bright. Wow, that's really nice actually. That's a very pretty, very vibrant orange. I don't know how well the colors are getting represented through the stream, but I'm actually really impressed with the colors that I'm getting so far. Yeah, it doesn't look nearly as vibrant. The capture card I'm running my camera through is screwing with the color space a little bit. I'll have to fiddle around and see if I can't improve it a little. But that is a nice color. So what I'm gonna do is for these mixes, if it says like orange and yellow, it means that I put mostly orange and a bit of yellow. So I'm going to do another one where it's yellow and orange. And I'm going to do a heavy yellow set of yellow. And then I'm going to go over it with a light set of orange. And see how much different that turns out. Oh, wow. That just straight up looks like the sun. But like on one of those really, really nice nights. That's almost like, I want to say that's like golden yellow or golden orange. It's not quite gold. What does that look like? That looks like a shade of yellow I've seen before somewhere. That is a very nice shade of yellow orange. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm probably going to cut these out and paste them into a book. You know, maybe like write some stuff beside it. Obviously, they're wet right now, so I couldn't possibly do that. Happy I decided to do this stream. Now, something I'm really curious about is this like skin tone one. Honestly, I have no idea what I would do to mix different skin tones. I don't work with like skin tones very much because I generally don't draw humans. But for the sake of fun, this one is dark ochre. So because orange is the O, I'm going to do DO is dark ochre. And this one is technically salmon pink. Yeah. So we're going to do SP. I'm sure the other ones have actual names too. I just didn't think to look at them. But then we're also going to do salmon pink and dark ochre. So this one's going to be mostly dark ochre. This one's going to be mostly salmon pink. Some of these seem to go down a lot easier than others, which is probably a result of like the amount of pigment probably makes it a little harder to go down. With a little dusting of dark ochre over top. And then this one will have a little dusting of salmon pink over top. I don't see it changing at all there. Perhaps I put the dark ochre down a little too much. I'm going to do the lighter one first. Oh, wow. That is far more... That's a bit clay? No, that's not quite red clay. I don't know what that color would be called, but it is definitely far different than either of the two. So again, very handy. I don't know if you could consider that a skin tone, but looks like a skin tone to me. Or at least a shadow on a skin tone. I don't know. It's still fairly pink, but it's also kind of orange and brown at the same time. Oh, you know what it is? It looks like a barbecued pork chop. I might be hungry. And now for the dark ochre heavy one. Oh. Okay. That looks like a fairly dark clay. A brick red almost. Yeah. Partially dried blood. I don't know. That's a nice color, though. It's very earthy. I mean, the original's also very earthy. And this is only like slightly lighter, but it's a little less red. And I really like it. It is kind of clay-ish. I wonder if there's a way for me to make a brown that's a little more neutral. I wonder. That's a triple mix there. But I wonder if I were to put a very slight touch of this, a slight touch of this, and a slight touch of this, if I could get a brown. I don't know. I actually don't know how to mix brown other than like, what, purple and red? Pink is kind of purple. I'm going to try pink and orange next, actually. So this one is called Crimson. But I already did pink, right? Yeah. I'm going to do CR for Crimson. Crimson, and I said pink and orange, I think. So we're going to do lots of the crimson. I have no idea what to expect. These are two completely, like, I wouldn't think to put them together colors. That's what this experimentation's all about. Oh, I think we're going to get another pink. Possibly. But I really don't know what to expect. Oh, we're getting another orange. What is this? Okay, this kind of reminds me of blood orange a bit. It's not quite dark enough, but that is a good shade of orange. It's nice and dark, but not too dark. And I think that it would actually pair well with this as a highlight. How intriguing. Yeah. Very intriguing. You can actually lift the color a bit too. Yeah, I'm super into that. Look, that looks good. Not the color I was expecting to get, but a good color. All the same. Now, in terms of brown, it's like, I know orange is probably a good place to start. But what do I add to this to get brown? My color theory's a bit rusty at the moment. Orange and I don't think green. Okay, we go red, orange, yellow, blue, and green. They'd be opposite ends of the color wheel, would they not? Or close to? You know what? Let's try it. Let's try an orange and a light green. I have no idea what to expect. Because I know brown is kind of sort of between orange and red, but really desaturated. And kind of a mid-value, I think. But I don't really know how to desaturate these. Oh, actually, that's a fair point. If green is the opposite end of orange, and I want to desaturate it, I want to add them both together in probably a fairly specific amount. So we're going to go light green and orange. So I'm going to try and do an even amount of them. And if I want to pull the orange more toward the green, then I actually want, and I also want it to saturate it a bit. So probably a relatively even amount of both, which to me is already starting to look brown. Just saying. Potentially. Oh, it is a sort of. It is a sort of brown. Not quite, though. But I think it's pretty close to brown on the spectrum. I'm not sure I like that color, though. What would I have use for that color? It's a bit, I don't know. It's a bit sandy, I guess. It's a very yellow brown, but a very desaturated yellow brown. So here's a thought. What if instead of orange, because I need it to be less saturated, I use this salmon color? Because they didn't do pink and green yet, right? They didn't do pink and green? Salmon pink and dark ochre. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we're actually going to do a heavy salmon pink and light green. We're going to go heavy on the salmon pink. And then we're going to do a light green on top. Still very saturated. And honestly, pretty close to that. It's not exactly the same as that, but it's close enough to say that I like don't really see the point in using both of them, but I'll put it in the catalog anyway. Just so it's there. Mildly disappointed by that. Oh no, I've messed up my organization of colors. What is wrong with me? Stop that. What colors next could I try for a... Yeah, that's the salmon pink and that's the ochre. And I already tried that. And I got close, but I wasn't that close to a brown. I might not have the right color temperatures for that. However, there is the dark ochre, which is a pretty close brown. I don't think I've mixed it with yellow yet. However, this is also a red, and red is fairly orange. So if I were to mix the dark ochre with the crimson red, this one was fairly brown. This is salmon pink. So if I were to mix this with the light green, what would happen? So let's do light green and dark ochre. Probably still going to be very green. But if there's enough pigment, and it's the right color temperature, it should influence it. Hey, that, just the way it is, looks pretty brown. But it did look pretty brown here too. And it ended up being very red. But let's see. Oh! You know, that's the closest to brown we've gotten so far. I will accept that as a brown. It's a very greenish brown, but it is a brown. That's a pretty good brown. And now I actually want to see what the dark green and dark ochre looks like. In fact, I should do the opposite. Let's do a dark ochre and light green. And then we'll also do a dark ochre and dark green. And then a dark green and dark ochre. For anyone who's gotten to this point in the video, or the stream, while it's live and you haven't caught up to everything, these might seem like the same color to you, but the first color I'm going to put on heavy, so like 2/3 of the mixture is going to be that color, and then the other third of that mixture is going to be the other color. So 2 parts the first one, 1 part the second one. And if I get into triple color mixes, I'm going to have to find a different solution. Probably like 1 part of each. But we'll see. So we're going to do dark ochre pretty heavy here. Dark ochre here. And then a very light touch of the dark ochre here. And then we're going to put a light coat of light green on top of this. That's a very light coat, and you can't really see it because the dark ochre's, well, so dark. Then we're going to do a heavy coat of dark green on top of this one. And a light coat of dark green on this one. And now you can see they're pretty different at the moment. So I'm going to do this one first. You know, that's close to the salmon pink, or the dark ochre and salmon pink over here. But this is a little darker and feels like it's a little more saturated too. But this looks like it's probably about the same value, but it's more desaturated, which is interesting. Will definitely be useful. Now this one is the dark ochre with a bit of dark green. Oh! That's perfect. That's the perfect brown. That's like, I don't know if it's leaning more to, it's obviously a warm brown, but that's a really good brown. I'm very happy with that. Let's see what you get with the dark green with a bit of dark ochre on top. Oh. Oh. That's very like forest green, leaf green. It's dark and desaturated, but it's still fairly vibrant and green. It's almost like a gray green. I don't know. Would that be a warm green or cool green? I suppose warm green. Because a cool green would be a lot more blue of a green. But this actually looks a lot more red, which makes sense because the dark ochre is, well, to be honest, it's fairly reddish orange. It looks like I have a lot more colors than I actually do. And now that these colors have dried, I actually do like those. Those are somewhat yellowy pale browns. They're very sandy. Especially this one. This one's a little strange. This one's darker. This one's more desaturated, so it appears lighter. You know what? All these colors are good. I'll definitely find a use for all of them. I'm very happy with this. Now, what other colors should I try and make? I need a purple. I got enough room on here for like one more pair of colors. Now, purple, as far as I know, would be a blue and a red, wouldn't it? I imagine so. And I haven't done anything with the red yet. So we're going to try red. I'm going to try, I don't know, I might have room for 4 if I do small ones. So we're going to do red and light blue and a light blue and red. And then over here we're going to do a red and dark blue and a dark blue and red. Let's get a thick covering of red here and then our light covering of red here. And then the same over here. I'm finding this very therapeutic. I haven't done this traditional art thing in a while, and I should really stop slacking so hard. My coffee is very cold. Good thing I also like cold coffee. Let's get this light blue on here. I have no idea what to expect. And then a heavy light blue on here. Oh, that is already looking kind of purple. I see a bit of purple in there. I don't know if I put enough blue on this one. That looks a bit better. That doesn't look quite purple. This does, though. Now we're going to put a light bit of dark blue on here. That looks potentially purple. Or a shade of purple. And then a heavy dark blue on here. Let us see. Not sure how many people are watching right now, but if there's anyone there, which one do you think I should do first? Because I don't know. This one looks the most promising to my eyes. Actually, the heavy on the blue looks more promising in general to me. Let's do the ones that I'm the least thinking they're gonna turn out. And honestly, these two kind of look the same to me. This one looks like it's gonna be really dark, so let's do this one first. Whoa. Wow, I have surprised myself. It's a oh, there's a name for this kind of purple. One of my polycolor pencils is this color-ish, sort of. Oh, what's it? It's not vermilion, is it? No. Oh, oh, give me a second. I have got my colored pencils right here. This is my polycolor set. I think it's this one. And it is called Bordeaux Red. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna jot this down right beside it. Yeah. Wow, I'm getting really good at recognizing colors. That's really close to the Bordeaux Red. So I know what that's called. And now it's in a video that's going to be archived. So I can look back on it if I ever forget. It looks like fuchsia to you because the color correction is super off. The capture card I'm using, because I'm using an actual camera. This isn't a webcam. This is a camcorder. And the capture card I'm running the clean HDMI signal out to is screwing with the color quite a bit. Like, my skin is not this color. The skin color you're seeing is very much not my skin color. It's fairly close, but it's a lot more orange than I actually am. There's like a hue over the whole video. So all these colors, the ones that you're seeing right now, aren't very accurate. I'm going to take some photos of these with a good camera that has proper color and do some color adjustments to make sure it's as accurate to real life as possible, and I'll probably post them on Twitter or in one of the Discord channels. But yeah, I'm looking at my own stream, and the color you're seeing is not the same color that I'm seeing. It's a lot darker on screen. It's similar, but it's definitely a lot darker, and a lot of the other colors, it's so strange. Some of the greens are really bright and fluorescent on screen, but some of the other colors are very dull. How strange. I will figure out the color correction issue so it's a little bit more accurate. Also, it depends on the screen you're using too. Like, I'm sure the color accuracy of my phone even isn't that great. I have one color accurate monitor in this room, and that is my pen display. Thankfully, because that's used for art. Okay, we're gonna do this other one I had like no faith in. Oh, that's really pretty. I don't know if I would call that rose red, but like, I'm almost willing to say that's almost like an accurate rose color. Like the kind of roses that are slightly purple, but they're still very red. I've seen some rose. No, this would be more like a tulip than a rose. Yeah, maybe. I haven't seen a tulip in a while though, but I don't know. That is a very nice, like, slightly purple red. I very much like that. Clearly, my color theory is not as rusty as I thought. I had like no color theory before I started getting into traditional art for this channel, and I have learned so much from doing traditional stuff. Okay, let's do this heavy on the dark blue and light on the red. Yeah, it's different. It's different than the standard dark blue. It's This is more like a cobalt, I think. And this is more like a lapis. Maybe. I I have this blue in here as well, I think. Which one are you? Not this one, I don't think. I don't know, maybe this one. Yeah, it's not quite cobalt blue. Nor is the other one. No, that other one's not even cobalt blue. Cobalt's a new shade of blue to me. I haven't worked with a lot of blues. I used to literally just use the same two blues for everything. Mostly because I didn't have any other blues to use. Ah, this is the one I think I was thinking about. So it's either this one that doesn't have a name on it, or it's this one that does, which is called Prussian blue. I kind of doubt it's Prussian blue. You know, it's pretty close. Not exactly Prussian blue, but it's pretty close. I think I'd be confident enough to call that Prussian blue. I'm sure if my amount of color I put down was more accurate, it would be a little closer. The only other one is this one, which is a phthalo blue, and that is definitely not a phthalo blue. This one's closer to a phthalo blue, but it's definitely not. We'll call it Prussian blue. Yeah, I think it's close enough. And it's not like I'm putting this on an art supply and selling it to people, but I'm just going to call that Prussian blue because that is the closest that I have to Prussian blue so far. If there's another one that's closer to Prussian blue, then I will rename it. But for now, that is going to be my mixture for, I guess, my rendition of Prussian blue. But those look pretty good. We got lots of colors. These two are standard, so we can ignore these. If I had my permanent marker, I would just right over top of those, but I'll just make sure not to put those in the book, because I mean I could, but I have these already. Okay, so I don't know how many more colors I can actually do. That's a lot of colors to work with, and I'm sure the more I experiment, the more colors I will discover. But let's try a few triple color mixtures. I don't want them to be colors that are too similar, but I don't want them to be colors that would be like super messy. Like obviously if I did black and dark ochre and dark green, it might come out kind of ugly, but we're going to try it anyway. Mostly because I said it, and now I'm curious, how would that look? I think I said dark green, black, and dark ochre. Oh no. Oh, I thought I turned my laptop off. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if you're still here to hear me, but that's fine. I'm glad you dropped by. Okay. I'm going to do them in the order that I said them. So I'm going to do dark ochre, a fairly light coat of dark ochre. I should write these down. Dark ochre, dark green, and BL for black. I'm going to do a light coat of dark green. This is going to turn out to be a horrible disaster. Or it's going to be a really dark, moody color that I absolutely love. I've been surprising myself so far. I've completely thought I'd hate everything, and then I didn't hate it. Also, it looks like there's a face in that. There is 100% a face in that swatch. Oh, I don't know if you can actually see. I don't have my phone open. I hope I positioned that right. But there's definitely a face in there. Someone clip that and make a creepy pasta. I mean, you don't have to, but that'd be funny. Anyways, let's hide this face. Whoa, no way. No way. There's no way. There's no way I accidentally just created another really good looking brown. That's such a good brown. It's a bit green, but it's brown. What would you even call that? It gives me slight, like, military vibes, like camo, almost. Tank brown. No idea, but that is really cool, and I was fully expecting that to be a really stupid mixture. But that's really cool. Shit. I don't know. I said a curse word that I didn't bleep out. What other crazy idea could I come up with here? Let's try. I could do a randomizer, but I don't know how long I've been streaming so far. Does it say? No. OBS would say, but this doesn't say. I will set up a randomizer. Like, I'm probably going to do some more of this off camera. But I might do a randomizer. You know what? Let's do a randomizer. Oh, I have Jazz's arty games on here, I'm pretty sure still. Or do I not? Did I uninstall it? Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. I thought I might have, because my phone was screaming at me about space, and I'm like, what do I not use the most? Okay. Single games. So this is Jazza's arty games. This is not a plug. I'm not affiliated with Jazza at all. However, this is actually a pretty fun app. There's I forget how to use it though. Custom generator. There we are. Go. No, those are numbers of colored pencils. Edit generator. Studio 72. Yeah, so I already have a list of the 72 colored pencils and my markers, although that hasn't been updated since I got my Spectrum Noirs. So that's not gonna work out for me. We're gonna call this one. I'm just gonna call it water crayons. Um, do these have numbers on them? Oh, finest water soluble crayon pastel. Oh, so these are pastels, not crayons. You're confusing me very much. Okay, so we're just gonna do them by their names. So, white. That one was crimson. Then we have, I'm just gonna put deocher. Save time typing. And that one's red. I'm pretty sure it's literally just red. Yeah, red. And then we have orange number 3. Okay. I'm just gonna put orange 3. I'm sure at some point I'll get more of these because I'm actually very much interested in getting a much bigger set of these things because I love them so far. And then we'll put S pink because I'm too lazy to type in the full name. We have a chrome yellow. Interesting, never heard of chrome yellow before. I'm going to type in the full name there because that might bite me in the butt later if I don't. We have a yellow green. I'll just put yellow green. I'm pretty sure it's a deep green. Deep green. And we have a light blue. I'll just put L blue. This one is cobalt blue. Oh. I didn't even know that was actually called cobalt blue. I just called it cobalt because it's vibrant. But hey. I'll actually call this cobalt blue though. If I call it dark blue and then I get a color that's actually called dark blue, then it's just going to get super confusing. And now I just have to add black. Okay, cool. So I'm going to pick 3 different watercolor crayon pastel things by selecting the same list 3 times. And now when I click go, it will give me 3. Blue, blue, and orange 3. Do I already have a light blue and orange mixture? No. I don't even think I have a dark blue and orange mixture yet. Okay, let's do it. So it's heavy on the light blue. Light blue and orange. Let's do another one. Dark ochre, black, crimson. Oh, that's going to be slightly different than this. I'm into it. Dark ochre, black, and crimson. Okay, well, I've rolled those. No, I actually kind of like doing the multiple reveal thing. So let's do. Oh, it's gonna be weird. Okay. White. Yellow green is light green. So I'm just gonna do LG. and Y. Just because I put Y on all of them. We'll do 3 to start. So let's mix up the light blue and orange. So put the light blue down pretty heavy. And a dusting of orange on top, just enough to see that it's there. And then we'll do dark ochre. I have no idea how to be accurate with this white, but we'll put a dusting of white down. Oh, I can actually kind of see it. Wasn't expecting that. Then we'll do a dusting of light green over top of that. And then this is black. And crimson, which is the pink, right? Yeah. Strange that the crimson is pink. I thought the crimson was like super red. Did the light green, now need to do the yellow. This is actually going to be a fairly yellow color because that's a yellow green and a yellow and then a white, so potentially pretty desaturated. So let's do the double color one first. Oh, that is interesting. It's a very much lighter version of this, which I suppose I'm not too surprised about. Looks good though. I mean, it's kind of an ugly color, but even ugly colors have their place. Let's do this one, a really light colored one. You know, that's not too bad, actually. That's a very pleasant yellow. Would you call that a lemon yellow? Maybe. I don't know, though. It's not quite highlighter yellow. It's actually very similar in yellow to this really crappy plasticine I got from the dollar store. We'll just call it plasticine yellow, I guess. And now we got this other triple color here. What a neat color. That's, I don't know, that's not quite the clay that I have. But it looks fairly similar to some of the clay I used to use back when I was very little in the art galleries we'd go to do really basic clay sculpting field trips. Looks pretty good. I'm gonna have a lot of colors to sort when I'm done here. This looks fairly close to the dark ochre and salmon pink. It's more pale and lighter, but I feel like this could sit in between these two. I mean, it's a little bit more brown, so maybe it's like a lighter version of this. And then from here, wait a minute. Is it just me, or did this change colors? I mean, the dark ochre and dark green is a really nice brown, but was that not the thing that I got excited about how good of a brown that was? I'm so confused right now. Did it change color after it dried? Also, these dry way faster than I was expecting them to. I mean, I'm sure the paper absorbed a lot of the water, but to be able to touch them without them spreading all over my fingers is surprising. Okay, let's do like... Oh, my voice just squeaked so much there. Let's do like... I don't know. 2 more. I don't know how long I've been streaming, but I feel like I've been streaming for a decent bit of time, and it's pretty late, and I should probably have something to eat before bed. Black, cobalt blue, and dark ochre. Black. We'll do dark blue because that's how I've been writing it. Dark ochre. The next one doesn't react to my finger apparently. Come on, you can do it. Okay. Red. Deep green, which dark green. Same letters. Crimson. I'm intrigued. Coat of red. And then a dark blue, also known as cobalt blue. Light dusting of that. Then dark green, also known as deep green. Pretty sure I did these colors already. However, I didn't do them with also the crimson. There's probably a better way for me to chart these out. I'm kind of just doing random ones. I could probably do a big grid and whatever, but honestly, no thanks. I'm just going to do the ones that come to mind. Okay, and then dark ochre. This one. I'm very intrigued. These are going to turn out either really cool or really strange. Let's do this bottom one first. Oh. You know, that's not too bad. I think that's similar to this one, right? No, that's the dark green. That one's dark blue. Dark blue and red. This is dark green and red. Or red, dark green, and crimson, which, I mean, the crimson's pink. So it's very much still sort of red. But that's pretty cool. Did I not do the red and dark green? I didn't. I actually didn't do a lot of reds. Just this one. And this one. Oh no, and then there's these ones. This is light blue and dark blue though. Interesting. All the same. And then we got this black, dark blue, and dark ochre. Whoa. Whoa. I suppose I wasn't expecting it to be a light color. I should have expected it to be this dark. This is pretty freaking dark. I'm having trouble deciding whether that's more green or more blue of a black. It's almost charcoaly. There is definitely a lot of blue. I don't know. I almost want to say it's more green, but that's really hard to say. I suppose it'll probably look different once it's like proper drawing. That is an interesting color. Intriguing, I say. Anyways, I think that's probably enough for me tonight. This chair makes my back very sore. And I have some work to get back to. But otherwise, I think this turned out pretty cool. These are the ones that we did in the stream. Let me get some things out of the way. So I can zoom this back out. My coffee is right there. Boop, boop. So, these are the ones we did tonight. We started with this page. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. I mean, we all knew that already, but I'm actually an idiot because I forgot to do this one. And of course, the one I forgot is the purple I was hoping to make. Oh, what a perfect way to end this stream. Purple is the whole, like, Naira Virica, Dragon Boy Studios color theme. The perfect way to end the stream is to create the purple. That was not planned. I literally forgot to do that one. I guess I got so wrapped up in this one that I just completely spaced. Or I got wrapped up in this one. I don't know. One of them. But we created some cool colors. Like this one. This is just the regular pink. Or crimson or whatever. Which is already on that page. And put down a lot better. And then this is just regular light green and regular dark green. Which again is over there. So we created some pretty good colors. Pretty much this one and all the ones down here are ones that we discovered together today. And then these ones, which it's actually kind of crazy how all these ones are like super vibrant. And then the ones that came out over here are like a lot more desaturated and almost gloomy looking. But again, I think that's pretty good work for tonight. I know we didn't actually do any like art, but the act of swatching colors is very therapeutic for me. And even watching somebody else, my friend Jane, swatching her watercolors and stuff, it was always therapeutic just watching someone paint. But the next time you see me with these swatches, I will be creating a giant piece of art. If there's anyone still hanging around today, right now, I'm about to show you the plans for my video that involves all of this work here. I seem to have leaked my can of water everywhere. Something that I wanted to do a while ago was to do something really extravagant for my 100 subscriber special, and I tried to do it and kind of burned myself out. So when I got to the 200 subscriber mark, I again wanted to do something special, but I was afraid that I was going to burn myself out again. So I didn't end up doing anything, but there's also been some other stuff going on in my life the past while, honestly, that I've been just a little too stressed out to do videos. I felt like it was super obvious on my face that I was really worn out. Well, I'm trying to get back into it. But now that I'm at like 353 subscribers as of doing this video or live stream, I'm getting close to 500. And I'm like, I want to do something special. I want to show you guys who may be watching this as a subscriber or not, how much I appreciate that you guys have been following me through my traditional art journey and the tutorials and just generally being so kind to me. and supporting me throughout this thing I'm doing on YouTube, which I'm hoping one day might actually become something of a job. And so, what I've decided to do is do the biggest piece of art I've ever done on the channel. In fact, this is probably going to be the most work I will ever have put into a piece of art. And that is to use these things, these wonderful, beautiful, vibrant watercolor crayons, to do a piece of art on this ginormous canvas. If I remember correctly, this is an 18 by 24 inch canvas. If you're unsure of how ginormous that is, this is a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, for those of you who have ever seen one. That's it on this canvas. This is a piece of Canson mixed media paper, which is, I believe, 9 by 12 inches in size. In fact, this, I have to get used to this. This cutting mat here, okay, basically these are like 4 of these makes up one of these. But if we want to be accurate, if I put the edge on this 10 here, it gets all the way to the 34. So yeah, that's a 24 inch there. And if I was to tip it up there like this, corner to corner, yeah, 18. 24 by 18. Wow, my memory actually worked this time. But I'm going to do an actual full-on art piece on here. Sadly, the corners have gotten dinged up from it hanging around in my room for a while. And there's a smudge here because it fell back there and rubbed against one of my tools or something. So it's got like a grease smudge from one of my greasy tools. So whatever I paint on here, I need to put dark stuff over here to cover that up. But it's going to be the biggest piece of art I've ever done on the channel. And definitely the thing that I put the most work into artistically, at least until the next project. Because these things are small. Look, I know you saw me using these already, and you saw the canvas already, but let's just set this in. The amount of coloring that I'm going to have to do to fill this canvas out. That is really tiny in comparison to... Oh my gosh. You stop. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. This was really fun. I will try to do live streams a bit more often, but not super often. What's unplugging over there? Anyways, you guys have been incredible. Reach for the stars, because there are no limits here. Without further ado, I'll see you guys in my next video and or next live stream. Bye-bye.